Welcome to part 4 of my behind the scenes series of my Space Mountain animation scene that was one of my first animations I made using Blender. There is a description to that below and parts 1, 2, and 3. Now we're looking at part 4 of putting everything into Resolve. Out of Blender, I exported a .EXR. The way to import the EXRs into DaVinci, we're going to go to the Media tab first, and under the Media tab we're going to click Frame Display Mode and make sure that we select Sequence. Once we have Sequence selected, this is how the EXR will appear. This folder has a ton of different pictures in it, and those pictures make up individual frames for this animation. But because I selected Frame Display Mode as Sequence instead of individual, it puts them all together. And then you want to just drag that into your project. And so now once I have this into Resolve, we're going to go over to the color page, and we're going to find under LUTs, we're going to go to VFX.io and find the linear to gamma 2.4. If there's a better one that you know of, let me know. Drag that onto here. That will correct your picture for you. Then from there you can color it as you wish. I ended up just taking the darks down on the curves here and finding a nice balance there that I liked. You can add a denoise, you can add more saturation, whatever you want to do for some basic coloring here. This is what my final timeline ended up looking like. Down here we have, and I'll make this bigger for you. This is the main EXR down here. This ended up being a 3 to 4 minute main sections that I can copy and paste until I got the hour long loop that I wanted on this track. Then the next layer, I ended up doing a couple of satellites floating by. I did some white dots floating by and keyframe them. And those are right here on this second layer. If I zoom in on that and drop down the keyframes, you'll see the position changes here over time. And then I kind of did some random variations of that, changed the opacity of them to make them more realistic. You'll see like this one's at 90%, but this one's at 40. That just makes them look a little bit more realistic as they're going by in the sky. Maybe some are further away and some others are closer, so it gives it a little bit more depth with that variation of opacity. On the next layer, you'll see a bunch of different shooting stars. Now, if I pull up this video clip, there's a bunch of different variations of it, and I was able to crop those and speed them up and position them all over the sky in different places and sort of just make a bunch of different random variations of that. And that's what you see here in these layers, is a bunch of different random variations of shooting stars happening in different areas at different times, at different speeds, different angles, and I just found a nice balance that I liked, and I was able to just copy and paste all of that. So really we're just focused on 5 or 6 minutes of stuff here, and then I was able to copy and paste most of it all the way to an hour. And in order to make the loop seamless, I use a bunch of crossfades. You'll see a bunch of crossfades in here, including in between clips here. So as this goes into this, it crossfades from this sequence to the next, and it's barely noticeable at all. I don't like things to be too noticeable when they're looping, so it's very subtle. Up here we just have my signature and the subscribe animation, and that's really it for those layers. And down below at the sound, we just have the music on the first 2 tracks. The third one is sort of this rumbling sound as the dome opens and closes. It's very subtle, but it does make sort of this rumbling like rocket sound as it does that, which is cool. In the intro, we have a couple of sound effects here with the lights coming on. All of the music is from MusicBed. They have such a good library on there, so be sure to check out the link below. This playlist is pretty good. Put it on at night. It's some really nice background to have on your TV, and this was a really fun animation to make. I also have an outro in here at the very end, and that is actually just the reverse of the intro. So pretty cool. All I had to do was just reverse that. This area at the bottom here, I wanted to be a little bit darker. It was a little too bright for me. So I ended up adding a node here and adding a window to just correct that section with the levels, and these are the levels I ended up doing just for that section because I liked it better. If you delete that, you can see it's a little bit brighter. And then here are my curves here, and that's really all I modify with that EXR. If I wanted to add more color, I could. Sometimes I do end up adding a little more color, but for this I liked it how it is. I ended up exporting the in and out range, and there is a YouTube setting in here. So I picked YouTube, but then I made a custom 2560 by 1440 because that's 2K, and this final output from Blender was 2K, and so I ended up doing a 2K export. I like 2K. I don't like have to have things being 4K. 2K looks pretty good. And if you wanted to do 4K, you can also use a super scale. Thanks so much for your support. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, really, the fact that you're here means the world to me because I'm spending a lot of time and energy on this stuff and I really enjoy it. And I'd love to connect with you if you're enjoying it as well. The channel's kind of been all over the place. It's been hard to keep up with certain things because they got expensive. But I'm really hooked on the 3D art right now. That's just where my art journey is at the moment. Thank you guys for being here. Talk to you soon. Take care.